Many presentations contain data of some sort. So let's take a moment and talk about that. Here's a standard data table that you're going to see in any conference room across the globe. Let's try a test. I'm going to ask you a question and then count to 3 and change the slide. See if you can answer the question. The data to answer the question is here on the screen, and it's a simple question with no tricks involved. Ready? Here we go. What year had the highest rate of bachelor degrees? 3, 2, and 1. Were you able to answer the question? I'm going to bet that you had a challenge doing it if you were able to answer it at all. Now let's try it again, this time with some different visuals. What year had the highest rate of bachelor degrees? 3, 2, and 1. What's the answer? Did you say 2016? If so, that's the right answer. Why is it that in the second one, you probably were able to hit the answer of 2016 in 3 seconds, but in the first one, you probably struggled? The data was the same, the question was the same, and your amount of time to answer the question was the same. The only thing that was different was the way I presented data to you. So what elements made it easier to tell? Contrasting colors. The first one was all shades of gray. There was no differentiation between them. In the second, 2016 was in teal and 2006 was in gray. Your brain instantly recognized that there were 2 different groupings. There was also a legend that told you the meaning of the colors. Repetition of colors. You could scan the color patterns for the piece of information that you needed. Grouping of data. So by colorizing the year information, it made it easier to separate out the different groupings you were looking at. It's really amazing how a few simple changes makes challenging data be functional and easily digested by an average viewer. Let's take a look at another version of this. Here's some information about boys and girls with autism disorders. Who's diagnosed more, boys or girls? And at what ratio? 3, 2, and 1. Did you get the answer? You might have, but was it easy? Did you have to read and comprehend all that text? Well, let's try another version of the same data, but presented differently. Ready? Who's diagnosed more, boys or girls? And at what ratio? 3, 2, and 1. Did you say boys were more likely to be diagnosed at a rate of 4 times? I'd be surprised if you didn't get it right. Why'd you get the answer right? One presentation was visual and the other was completely text-based. In the second one, I used colors to designate boys from girls. I also used recognizable images of boys and girls. So it was immediately obvious that there were more boys than girls. I also highlighted the piece of data in the text that was important 4 times. Your eye was probably immediately drawn there when you looked at the screen. My bet is that you didn't even need to read any of the text on the screen in the 3 seconds. But there was text on the screen. So you can see how simply changing the presentation of data to a visual format can increase the recognizability of important data. This is highly valuable in an environment where you're inundated with numbers and data all the time.